Thank you kindly, Sarah. Aloha! Mayor Loretti, Mr. Burr, members of the Board of Ed, Dr. Smith, faculty, honored guests, parents, friends, pets, and of course, the senior class. Welcome to the SHS Class of 2010 graduation ceremony. I'll say that again, our high school graduation. And we thought this day would never come. We entered this school 4 years ago, doe-eyed and innocent, backpacks on our backs, not knowing what to expect of big, bad high school. It's hard to believe that we're the same group of timid kids who once wore our IDs around our necks. School-approved lanyards, of course, with that big kid sense of pride. As we grew throughout these last 4 years and our IDs became, well, let's just say less of an esteemed badge of honor, we matured into the outstanding and wonderful young adults we are today. Thank you very much. As we adapted to life as high school students, so must we adapt and endure throughout our lives. The theme for this year's commencement exercises is a quote by Albert Einstein, which states, "We cannot solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." The class of 2010 faced many challenges we had to endure. We lost two beloved educators, Coach Ed Morocco and Housemaster Thomas Gers. We welcomed a new headmaster, Dr. Beth A. Smith, who herself was tested her first year with a certain fire I think we all can recall. This year, there was a whole education budgetary woes, bringing a whole new set of issues to an already stressful senior year. From traditional high school drama to paper and people, we certainly had our share of problems we had to address. But fighting fire with fire, no pun intended, cannot bring peace to a situation through a unity and compassion will. I remember joking with some of you that it was our class that was cursed with such rotten luck, like no class before us. Now, I realize that we were presented with these problems so we can join together as a class for what we believed in. My father, Daniel Cajigas, taught me that it isn't the events in life that defines the man. Character comes from how the man chooses to deal with these events. This year, the futures of many of our academic institutions were at stake. We certainly had a lot to be angry about, but as a class, we realized anger and harsh words would do nothing for our concerns except make them worse by embittering us. As president of our class, my proudest moment was the Board of Education meeting at Booth Hill School, where we came out in full force to support the institutions we hold so dear. We channeled our hard feelings into an inspiring and steadfast dedication to our passions. It may be a tired cliche, but that was perhaps the greatest day to be a Gale.
Yeah.
Though the final result of the city budget may not have been as satisfying as we may have hoped, it wasn't the devastating tragedy we all feared either. As so many Rockies movies before us, the outcome of the fight isn't nearly as important as the dedication and the spirit of the fighter. I think Theodore Roosevelt put it best when he stated, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is not effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deed, who knows the great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and at the worst, if he fails, At least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. We must remember these words for the rest of our lives. I know that I will. It may surprise some of my current teachers now that in elementary school, I was the kind of student that would be devastated when I received a B average. I recall a bus ride home in the 5th grade where I considered running away from home because I got a C on a project. All that changed, however, when I lost my twin brother, Joseph A Cajigas, on April 4th, 2005. After that, this honor roll student couldn't see how he could be expected to care about things like math formulas or a little thing called a deadline. Emotionally and academically, I shut myself out from the world. I put myself in the mindset that I was worthless, and I blamed myself for my brother's death. I convinced myself I was unlovable, and yet it was love which brought me up from my darkest depths. It was people like Heather Metz and Heather Gaduti, whose offices I spent more time in freshman year than a classroom. Vincent Convertito, who I now consider one of my dearest friends, and all of you who saved me from my path of self-destruction. I add no exaggeration for dramatic effect when I say I wouldn't be standing before you today without your love and support. My grief and depression spawned guilt over my brother's death took happiness and hope from my life, and this was a disservice to his memory. I didn't want to have any friends because I felt as if I was trying to replace him. I gave up on school because it didn't seem to matter to me. Now, I never really exactly became much of the scholar again, but I've grown to love all of you in your own ways. I learned to stop living life without my brother Joseph and to instead live my life for my brother Joseph, to be happy and to strive for success the way he would want me to. Though I will never get over my loss, and I'm saddened to wonder, what if? As I look out on all you in the field today, I know his spirit is with us here today, now and forever, and he has so much to be proud of in each and every one of you. If you ever feel doubt, remember this, and remember how perseverance and hope can save even the most lost of souls. Even the bitter, angry, hopeless young man can find redemption, and even the quiet, introverted loner can end up speaking in front of 1,000 people at his high school graduation. If I may quote the great James Cagney, "Made him top of the world." Be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, and it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, and it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friends. When asked by Howard Cosell how he would like to be remembered, Muhammad Ali said, "I'd like for them to say he took a few cups of love. He took 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness. He took 1 quart of laughter, 1 pinch of concern, and then he mixed willingness with happiness. He added lots of faith, and then he stirred it up well. And then he spread it out over the span of a lifetime, and he served it to each and every deserving person that he met. Keep the faith, love with all your heart, and remember to stay hard body, and you cannot fail." I want to graduate here too, so let me say to you all, for the last time, a favorite quote of mine from Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. "Happy trails to you until we meet again." Serving as president of the class of 2010 has been one of my life's greatest honors. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless.